It's clobbering time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberanimo!
Clobberanimo indeed. Greetings, clobbers and clobberanimos and clobberooskies and all the other clobberers, clobberoids, and whatever kind of clobbers we have here. Welcome everyone tonight to a special Monday Night Mark C. Comics Talk double header, a double feature, part one right here, right now. Just getting started. A visit to Earth B. Let us all take a magical trip to the Earth B. The Mr. Bob Haney has been so kindly to create for us all those years ago. And with me tonight on Clobberin Times number 502 on YouTube, when we're 1,202 overall. On this for the special Clobby's Classic Comic Review, as my partner in crime on Earth 2, the great J-Man. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is my favorite Earth to visit out of all the Earths, all the infinite Earths. This is the one
yes,
that
Earth
is the best.
B.
I think a lot of crisis happened on this Earth particularly.
Exactly.
This has had the most crises that you could possibly imagine. Crisis.
Yes, or whatever it is. Earth B rocks, man. I love it.
Man.
Love me some Earth B. And I'm glad you've become a partner in exploring the wonderful world of Bob Haney.
Yes, and I have purchased the last two we reviewed, so I will be purchasing every comic show I go to. I buy the ones that we reviewed because I want to show support to our good buddy Bob. Cool. Bob, we're still here. We're buying your stuff. It's still going.
Yeah, Bob,
strong.
You are appreciated, Bob Haney. You are appreciated. So, let's see here. Let's say some hellos. First of all, show notes. I'll be on again at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow. So not tomorrow, I mean tonight. Sorry, not tomorrow. Tonight in a few hours. See, I'm already losing it, and just a week's not even started yet. But we're here? Let's of course do our usual. The usual wrench shout outs are of course as follows. Whether they're here or not, we shout them out. I'm not looking at the chat yet at the moment, folks. So we'll just go with the great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher, the great Vindicated Wrench of the North, Chris Persia, Diabod Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth, I know you're here, buddy. Great to see you. I hope you and the wonderful Lady Thoth are doing well. The God of Wrenching you. Avon lives, and long live the Legion. The great Hungry Boy, Master of the Claboni, official artist of Clobberin Times and Science Fiction Tales, the book of science fiction short stories by my wonderful first officer, R.M. Briggs. He is on with me tonight, the great Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. Cal L, the Super Wrench, and, of course, the wielder of Mjolnir Wrench, Maddie's daddy, and Phantom Outsider. So let us see who was in the chat, say hello to them really quickly, and then we'll get down to beeswax. How about that?
Yes.
Let's see here. Let's see. Stuart Mitchell, what is up, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here. The aforementioned great Lord Thoth. And Chris Persia, hey there. Wagner. Good to see you, sir. Picasso, hey there. Captain Infinity and Beyond. Mr. Butt Crack Media. Well, hello there. It's an honor to have you here. Lemon Pie. Hey. Jim Largo. Hello there, Jim. Good to see you, my friend. And anyone who pops in, we will definitely endeavor to acknowledge them. We will now get down to business. For those who have not been here with us previously for a foray onto the Earth B. Earth as in B as in Bob Haney. For those who don't know, let me set it up for you. Back in the 60s and 70s, there lived a writer at National Periodical Publications, a.k.a. DC Comics, by the name of Bob Haney. And Bob Haney co-created characters like Sergeant Rock, even though some say he didn't. He says he did. Metamorpho, even had things to do with characters like the Doom Patrol. And he wrote other series like Teen Titans and Aquaman and World's Finest. And he pretty much created the team-up book with a book called, or certainly was in on the ground floor of the team-up book, which was called Brave and the Bold, where different heroes would team up and eventually Batman would take over that comic. In the late 80s, after a book called Crisis on Infinite Earths, a crossover I'm sure some of you may be familiar with. Matthew Pounder, what's up, buddy? There was a company, I forget the name of them now. They released these things called indexes. And one of the Crisis on Infinite Earth indexes was called the something to do with it was like one of the indexes that were about different Earths. And there's an article in there. I've read about this in other places, but I think this is the first time I really took notice of. They listed some of the odd Earths that were contained pre-crisis in the DC multiverse, and one of them was called Earth B. And as I had conversations with comic book geeks for years before that, we would always joke and laugh about the Bob Haney stories that we would read in Brave and the Bold in our youth, and in World's Finest. And it became sort of a joke around the DC offices that Bob Haney, they would call him quote unquote Mr. Continuity,
right?
Ironically, and they called every time they wanted to explain something that was just so ridiculously out of their own continuity, because Jeanette Kahn made continuity a big deal at DC Comics in the late 70s and the early 80s. That's why she forced Crisis, which I didn't like much in some ways. But they decided, they said every time something that just didn't make any sense, oh, that happened on Earth B.
Right.
It was primarily Bob Haney, though Murray Boltinoff was his editor a lot of the time. So anyway, but it was Earth B for Bob Haney. They figured if it didn't make any sense and it didn't have any connection to anything you'd ever read before, Bob was your man. And he also writes the wackiest stories ever. This is our third excursion onto Earth B that J-Man and I have made. Our first one was, I guess, back in October.
Yep.
We talked about this classic Brave and the Bold number 124. If you should go back and listen to this one or watch it, because it needs to be seen and heard to be believed how wacky this story is.
Yeah, this has to be the weirdest comic, well, at least mainstream comic of all time. Like it's just like, it's outrageous. It
truly is just, mind-boggling in a fun way, but it'll make, oh man. Anyway, so then we decided to celebrate Christmas with our second excursion into Bob Haney madness. With this one, maybe not as quite as wacky as the other one, but it's wacky in its own way for sure. The stories range from wacky to this so nonsensical. That's what makes them wacky. In and of themselves, they're not like intentionally funny, but sometimes it's just so ridiculous.
Right. Even the continuity within the book itself is questionable. It's
it doesn't follow from page to page.
Yeah, page to page doesn't follow. Like Plastic Man can get hit with a gun and get knocked out, but then he can get shot with bullets and not get hurt. Like, okay, well, what is it?
Oh, you're going to see some examples of that kind of crap. There's men and misses here. You're going to see some more examples of that tonight. And so for our third excursion into Bob Haney madness, we have Brave and the Bold number 100. The Warrior in the Wheelchair. So let me we'll start getting to this one here. We're gonna, as we always do, we like to show you the comic a bit. We like to reel through it because it is wow, man. Oh man, I don't even know how to.
Well, page one is
This
like
is
page
something. This
one is how
comic
you
is
start
truly-
a comic.
It's wow,
yeah.
wowzer. So anyway, yes, thank you, Captain Affinity. There is zero internal verisimilitude. That's
Right.
a good way to look at it. None, and we're all the better for it in this case because it's absolutely. He left his mark on comics in the Silver and Bronze Age. Kind of in the Upper Bronze Age, toward the end of that, he kind of got chased out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so without further ado, here we have, folks. We present you an Earth B classic. Let's see if we got any votes before we start.
On the poll.
I only have two. Only have two votes. So I think
Okay.
maybe we'll get more. So we only have a few votes so far. The poll, folks, if you could vote,
you're cutting out on me there, Clobby. Just a second ago.
we
I don't know if it's on my end.
Appreciate it.
I lost your audio, Clobby. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? No.
You hear me?
Okay, I heard you there. You cut out on me. I don't know if it's me or.
Was that?
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it could be my
Yeah, I lost you for
know.
a sec. I lost you for a minute there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, Picasso's saying you were breaking up as well.
I'm sorry about this. My stupid computer, I think. What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Chris, let us know. Chris was also saying that he was having some trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me close some windows here. I can't close too many of them. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, it sounds good now.
How about you got me now? Okay. Let me know if I'm coming through everybody out in the chat because. Okay, thank you, Chris.
Yeah,
I'm
Chris,
guessing
thanks a lot.
My stupid computer. Oh man, I got terrible. Thank you, everybody. So sorry about that. I'm glad you're hearing us now. So here we go with issue number 100 of Brave and the Bold. Now this comic starts out with an interesting Nick Cardy cover. It's one of those 52 page, double size for. It says 52 big pages. Don't take less. Only 25 cents. Spectacular. 100th issue, The Brave and the Bold. So, but of course, we're just going to review the main story.
Right.
The rest are reprints. But first, an interlude. The insult that made a man out of Mac. Remember these ads?
Yes, I love them. This is great.
Oh, he ends up going to work out for a couple weeks, and boom, he's ready to kick in some ass.
Yeah, and I can prove to everybody that definitely does work. Just 2 weeks, and you're going to have that body. I can prove it.
Verisimilitude. Yeah. That's the way it works, pal. Oh man, you guys, keep us posted because I'm getting weird signals on my stupid ass. Which antenna thingy here, or I'm yeah. Okay,
right.
All right. So anyway, we start out. A story begins, the boys and girls, with the way Bob Haney stories often begin, with craziness right from the bat. There's a sniper who's got his sights set on Gotham City Hall. Dawn. Is he going to shoot the poor little kitty cat? No. The old lady, the old cleaning lady? No. Not even the cop. Not even the guy with the pipe. But then, for some reason, Batman's right there, and kapow!
Yep.
Batman's on the steps of City Hall. and he takes a pop to the heart. Boom, this guy. Wow, Batman just. Why are you walking around in the daylight like that, Batman? I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, why is he just walking around and he's fine? It's just like, okay, I'm here. Like, all right, what were you doing there?
I don't know.
It's Dirty Harry. I thought of that, Matthew. Yeah, I thought it was like Dirty Harry with the Scorpio. With Garrick.
Oh man,
Garrick as a sniper.
Yes, Garrick as the bad guy. Claude Selling, hey
Claude.
Okay. Oh, every now and then, just let us know if the sound's coming through. If you hear Jay and if you hear me. So, all right. So, boom, we start out Batman being shot right to the heart, and in the ambulance, a wail of an ambulance in the fresh new day, wail like a whole city's anguish. Vital signs steady. He's alive. There's Commissioner. Thank God, but a bullet near the heart. Doctor, how do you know? Can even Batman beat that? They got him. Let's see, they got him at last. The worst criminal scum of all, the drug ring. They cut him down before they knew. They knew he swore eternal war against them. They cut him down because they knew. I'm sorry.
Right.
Gotham Hospital, a cathedral of healing and pain. A patient miraculously. Yes. What?
Yeah. And and I love that he's got bandages over his costume. Like, this is already 10 out of 10. It's like, like it just started. He's got bandages. Like, didn't they remove at least his torso, like his chest?
No.
They just bandaged him up right there.
Right. You got to have bandages over the freaking costume. That's a very good point. So, at least they left the mask on. That's very nice. So Gordon, Batman Commissioner. I don't know why he's saying Batman because he's talking to the commissioner. As hospital director, I said, which one of you guys is Batman? Oh, you, the commissioner. Sorry. As hospital director, what's the director doing in there? I want you to understand what we're up against. Okay, here's where we set up our story, folks. As you see, the bullet penetrated the pericardium or serous sac, and luckily stopped at the left article, whatever, and the left, blah, blah. Okay, it's in his heart. The only surgeon for the job is Dr. Hellstrom of Zurich. He's the world's best. With him, you've got a chance. So what's the catch, Jay? What do you think the catch is?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Dr. Hellstrom couldn't be here by plane until Friday. That's 3 days. Meantime, Batman, you must remain immobilized. The wrong movement could be fatal. You heard him, Batman. So one would think one would stay immobilized in such a dire situation, but not the Bat, right?
Or can't Batman like pay to have him take a private jet? Like, can't they just Bruce Wayne come in and say, like, I'm friends with Batman, I will give you my private jet to get him here quicker? Like, I mean, it's like,
it's not like he could have Superman go get him, or some other guy that we're going to talk about later that could go get him, or the Flash go get him, or the Justice League go get him, or any of that stuff.
Yep.
No, we got to wait the 3 days.
Yeah. Quagmire says, Dr. Hellstrom, I thought of Son of Satan. I'm like, oh my God, it's the Son of Satan. Don't trust him.
Don't trust him. It's the Son of Satan. That's what I thought too. It gets weirder. But so, like you said, wait a minute. He was in the DC universe. He's Batman.
Right.
There's all kinds of different ways to get a bullet out of his heart, even magical comic book goofy ways.
Right.
Or you could just get somebody with really, really doesn't the Justice League have a transporter?
Right. Like Superman could fly and grab him and like anything.
Yeah. Hey, Justice League. Yeah, you guys, could you help your buddy Batman out? He's got a bullet in his heart. But no.
Let's contact Black Canary instead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For other reasons. Batman thinks to himself, Gordon knows what I'm thinking, that by Friday, the biggest heroin shipment ever will have been smuggled into Gotham by international drug ring. The one crime I'd give my whole career in my life to stop, and now I'm helpless. Well, first of all, I'd like to know how you like that. I guess we're going to learn. How you know that, Batman. I guess we're going to learn how he knows that. Don't count on it.
This is foreshadowing.
So Tuesday. Now, I'm not a mathematical genius by any stretch of the imagination, but remember they said 3 days.
Right.
So he won't be able to be here till Friday.
Yeah, so now it's
Well, it's Tuesday.
So, yeah.
1, 2, 3. It's Tuesday. Right? Wrong? I mean, okay. Anyway. All right. So today, July 10th, 1 p.m., a sunken feature stuff. So Batman basically they got all this exposition like the deadly circle. It's almost complete from the poppy fields of Turkey to the labs of Marcellus, Marcellis or whatever, to the big dealer here in Gotham. Who we never ever. I don't want to spoil anything, guys, but we don't know who that is. Who is that, by the way? We don't know. To the street pushers, and at last to the kids who buy the junk that'll ruin their lives, their families, and breed new hell in the streets. Oh my God, it's worse than Crisis.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
So
what about the second largest shipment?
Crowning saga of the Brave and the Bold series.
Right. Yeah, this is the first shipment. What about the second highest?
This is the worst. No, this is the biggest. This is the biggest of all time.
Right.
The Guinness Book of World Records will record this one day.
Right. This is Tony Montana.
The crowning
Tony
saga
Montana level.
It's even worse than that. But here's what gets me: the hyperbolic writing is worse than some guy named Stan, because it says beginning the crowning saga of the Brave and the Bold series. I mean, he's fought lots of crazy villains. The ultimate experience of the 100th issue that reunites Batman and 4 allies as the masked Manhunter survivor of countless desperate combats, now must face his supreme challenge to save an entire generation. Is that many, really? While threatened by death itself, as he becomes the warrior in the wheelchair. Bum, bum, bum. I can't let it happen. So, okay, now we see he's on a balcony. And it's not at the hospital.
Right.
He's back at Wayne. For a while there in the 70s, Bruce Wayne had an apartment. A big old, penthouse apartment. Remember that?
Yeah, they kind of had it in
Bruce
Dark
Wayne.
Knight in the second movie as well. They showed that, right? I think it was Dark Knight. He had the apartment, or maybe it was Rises, one of those.
Yeah, but they did that in the 70s. I remember when Robin went to college, he moved to it.
Yeah.
So
Robin's not here right now.
But he's coming. But the point is, he's dressed as Batman he's got the pants over his
out on the balcony.
He never changed clothes yet. This is yet. And he's on his Bruce Wayne's balcony. There's Alfred, for God's sake. But he's Batman.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're out in the open.
Yeah.
It's like he's right. Anyone could just look up. It's like, why is Batman in Bruce Wayne's balcony? Like, I
can't let it happen.
And how did he get past Alfred? But look at Alfred's like, my God. It's like, well, how did you get past him? Like how are you even here if you can't move? Well, I guess we'll get to that.
Yes,
you can't move, right? If he moves,
but
the bullet gets closer, right?
And he keeps moving,
and he's moving.
So this is weird. This story's weird too, though.
This is weird, yeah.
Here we go. This stuff right here, I know, but the one time in my life I need these hands, these legs, every ounce and every inch and every fiber of my being. I'm a cripple. A crippled bat doesn't fly, Alfred. And so, blah, blah, blah. He's all feeling sorry for himself. And then he hears this buzzing. A fly caught in the spider's web. And there's the web spinner sitting pretty. He's watching this spider. This whole comic, he becomes weirdly obsessed with the stupid spider catching flies.
And I don't get why why is this even happening? And why is there a spider? Does nobody clean his apartment here? How is there this giant web?
Yeah,
Alfred. It's like, Alfred, can I speak to you a minute?
But no, he likes spiders. He's Batman. He's weird, I guess. I mean, he's cheating on his bats with spiders. He didn't even give him an inch to catch. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So, of course, that's it. Eureka! He has a voice. He has an epiphany. That's it. To catch flies, I'm after. Catch the flies, I'm after. The bat must turn spider. I shall become a spider. Criminals are a cowardly, superstitious lot, drug dealers especially. They're not afraid of bats, but they're afraid of spiders.
Yes, then why are you Batman?
Alfred, call Robin and eat him here quickly.
Yeah. Like, shouldn't he just be Spider-Man at this point? Because he's like, he goes, they're scared of spiders. Well, you picked a bat, so I mean, I don't know. Like, you mostly fought drug dealers. Yeah. Yeah. Now he's Spider Bat.
Don't like spiders. Brian Hepburn,
what
hey
research? There, buddy. Hey, Brian. How did he know that? Like, did he do research? And
you got me, dude. All I know is now he's got Robin. He asked for Robin. Dick Grayson shows up. I'm not gonna read some of the dialogue because it could be get to be snickers from people, if you see what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, I love what Alfred's thinking here. These two together again. Now maybe Gotham's kids have bought one more chance. That's so not Alfred thing to think. So the next shot is of the legs of superheroes. What's the true scoop? The Bat Guy's really the Bat Guy. He has a tendency. Green Arrow calls him Bat Guy a lot in some of these comics. Really goofing off. He's really goofing off. And we're the summer replacement show, right? For those who don't know, back then, they for a while in the 50s and 60s, when a show would go off for the summer, they'd have a replacement show. They didn't have reruns back then.
Right.
As much.
Some of those replacement shows went on to become shows.
They used to have a thing called summer replacement shows.
Some of those would become shows if they were big enough.
Yes, they did. Absolutely, they did. Yeah. Tell this bearded. Oh, so she's it's so choppy. You don't know who's talking to what. But Canary says, "Tell this bearded booster I'm fool enough to love where it's at. Where it's at." Okay.
I don't know.
Will do. Sure, Batman's goofing with a 30-06 slug, a silly millimeter from his heart. He's not only needs us, he needs a miracle. No, actually just needs you to fly with your super extreme speed, Green Lantern, but we'll get to that later when it's even sillier.
Right.
Oliver Queen, Dinah Lance Jordan, or to admiring world, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Green Lantern, and Gotham. Why? Let's listen. Okay, so he needs us. That's blah, 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 because basically they're talking about a bunch of silly shit. We'll move on to the more relevant bits, but basically he's called these three superheroes to help him out. Michael Carney, what's up, bud?
Yeah, so he's got these guys here.
J-Man,
yeah. They're basically like, this is where he's like talking about like, oh, I've dealt with drugs before, so this is serious. They're trying to tell you how serious this drug bust is, but I mean, it's like you call these three, and that's fine. But I mean, can't anybody can't you get Superman or somebody to go, get that doctor? Like, I don't. It's just like so random. So the idea is that these three are going to complete the case for him or whatever. But we'll see how it goes. But it's
here's our first Bob Haney stickler point. This is how an editor could shoot this story to say, Bob, you need to go back, and they never did. Because the comics sold, by the way. If you read the history of the comics going on here, his comics, his Brave and the Bold, they're always big sellers, so no one cared. But an editor would say, wait a minute, Bob, really, your story automatically from get-go doesn't make sense because Batman lives in a world where he could get that doctor there in a matter of minutes.
Right.
Hey, Grimdark. Well, Bob just said, shut up, Murray. Just go with it. Okay. And I love how he sets up this stupid drug dealer as like the smartest guy in the world. But how does Batman know any of this crap?
And how is this drug dealer so formidable that he's able to take out Batman? And then, well, you'll see what happens with these three, but it's like,
when we get to a lot of this is at the end. We have to hash it out at the end because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So anyway, Green Lantern and Green Arrow are having one of their classic philosophical discussions, a la O'Neill and Adams. But Bob Haney doesn't understand that they're both sides positions. They usually have completely their views are completely fluffy. But I won't get into that. So Robin's watching them. Right on, whatever, guys. So there's that going on, and then we have an ad. Yay, toys, and yay, Sergeant Rock. and yay, more silly things you can order. Some more nice, some pretty nice. The whole art, most of the art by Jim Aparo, of course, is first rate. We should always say that, folks. Jim Aparo is always the best thing about these comics. Getting the Jim Aparo art. I was remiss.
He's awesome. I think he's my.
So much fun.
I know Neil Adams is there, so it's basically between Neil Adams and Jim for who's my favorite of these kind of Batman versions.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, whatever. I like Jim. I was used to Jim because I think he did a lot more of them, but I'm not sure. I think he did a lot more. Yeah. I feel like he did a lot more. Yeah, he did way more. I thought so because Jim Aparo to me is like what I think.
He did almost all the Brave and Bold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I love him. Here's one of my favorite bits right here where Batman is on the phone with Jim Gordon. Oops. Yeah. And basically, this conversation here, Gordon here, listen, you can't run this operation alone, sitting there helplessly. I'm not Commissioner Robin Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and Black Canary. They're my eyes, ears, and legs. But drug trafficking is a police matter. I agree, but one misstep and a single detective or patrol, and the whole deal will blow sky high. Can you keep out until I need you? Well, wait a minute. He's the police commissioner. The Batman's saying, look, I know it's a police matter, but screw you. I'm telling you what to do. We're up against the kingpin of international junk merchants, Belknap. The guy's named Belknap. Himself. And he's trickier than a cobra on glass. The only chance of stopping this shipment and any others is doing things my way. He tells Gordon, look, and then he says, now I've got to keep my other communication channels open and clear. Click. He hangs up on Gordon. Batman is now the commissioner, I guess.
Yeah, and this is a Bob Haney thing because Batman and the commissioner always butt heads, and the ones that we've read, it's like they're always arguing. And I do like that Batman is like, look, you can't handle this. This is like Adam West, where like Commissioner Gordon just can't handle it, and he calls Batman. He's like, yeah, I can't handle this. Can you step in?
But he never was disrespectful to Gordon, though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so Batman shouldn't be talking that way to him, saying, "Listen, can you just like not do anything and let me handle this for once?" It's like
he says, he flat overrules Gordon.
Yeah, and he's like hangs up on him. He's like, yeah.
He said, "Screw you! I'll handle this, you pedestrian." And then here he is again, thinking to himself, "Got to emulate my web spinning friend here and wait for the next fly to buzz into the trap." What is it with the damn spider? Good Lord. You're a bat. You're disgracing yourself. So we go all the way to the, at this moment, it's afternoon of the next day in a villa on a Swiss lake. The shipment's got to go, Mr. Belknap. This is Belknap. That's right. Really, who, by the way, is in another country. So where's he getting all this info from?
I have no idea. This is so weird. And this character in this book is portrayed to be one of the smartest villains. Like there's a lot of cat and mouse coming up in these next few pages. And he outsmarts Batman on every turn. Like
it's so bad.
It's crazy. And this isn't the Penguin or like you would have thought this would have been a Penguin story.
Or
like
the Riddler.
A shipment coming in or something. Like
right.
This is so odd. This Belknap, I'm surprised there's how come they never made a superpowers figure of this character?
It's like Haney never liked using the villains, or when he did, they weren't smarter. He liked to make his own characters.
Yeah, but this guy is like they've made this guy way too smart. Well, we'll see as we go through. Like, but these next 6 pages are insane. Like, he defeats everybody. Like it's crazy. Okay,
he's
anyway,
the best. He's
the best, man. Belknap.
Yeah, he's the best, man. Belknap rules. I wouldn't want to mess with him. Superman, the whole Justice League needs to come out after that guy. Hey, Kal-El. So, it's time to start the game. Old Spider can sleep, his web's done, but I've still got to spin mine. This is my key. Without I wouldn't even be in the game. A custom connections. It's like he's holding a like a little notebook thingy. It's a whole system of coded connections the drug ring uses to get shipments into Gotham and into the hands of the big dealers. Where'd you get that? Where did you get that? Lucky I came by it. That's the explanation. A dealer the drug ring shot for holding out on them gave it to me on his deathbed. Now let's see. I'm glad it's all written in that book there. I cracked the code right Mr. Arachnid to Ace Archery's Mr. Arachnid. That's his code. Oh my goodness. So on a dark street, here we got Green Arrow. Goes to the post office, and that's where the drugs are supposed to be, in the post office. Oh, my snail mail. I guess, right? Oh, I lost you there for a minute, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I got knocked to backstage. I don't know if I hit something or what. That was weird.
Oh, I wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't see. I know you couldn't
know.
see. So
Sorry,
that's what I was chatting about. No, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if
I wasn't looking at
what.
Well, yeah, it was. I wasn't looking at the screen. So
yeah, it was just 2 seconds. It was just 2 seconds.
Okay. Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, so I'm all caught up.
Post office.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. So that's where this is where it's Wednesday, and Batman thinks it's at the post office for some reason, because the guy that he get, that really reliable source who's on the deathbed, who he took the notebook of, says so.
Yeah. Okay.
And Batman just trusts it.
Can I point this out? So I want the audience
Please.
to keep this in mind as we go through this. These shipments are coming in through the weirdest channels I've ever heard anyone ship drugs, especially the third one. But it's God. Like it's like I've never weird. Heard like just keep this in mind, chat. As we go through these, there's 3 drug shipments. They get crazier. The third one is the stupidest thing.
Or at least he thinks they're.
Or well, you're right.
Not only that,
right.
remember that the biggest drug shipment of all time. Remember?
Yeah, this is the biggest drug shipment of all
right?
time, which is these through these 3 different channels. The second one is not too bad, but the third one is insane. Wait till you get to the third one. This one's pretty crazy too, but like, yeah. But anyways,
they're red herrings, of course.
They're red herrings anyway, right?
They're red herrings, right? Hey, Mr. Angel, good to see you there, buddy. So yeah, and lovely Sherry, what's up?
Hey, Sherry,
girl. Good to see you. Let's look at that lovely face. Hey there, girl. I hope you're doing well. So here we go. We've got the first of the red herrings. Green Arrow is sent out to nab these guys because Batman has it in a little notebook, don't you know? That he took it off a dying dude on his deathbed. They picked up the packages. Batman said to make sure. That doesn't look like the biggest anything to me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what is this? Like, this isn't anything. Like, that's the biggest drug shipment. Like,
yeah, it's like one little thingy in there. So anyway, excuse me, fellas, but and these guys are working for the bad guys. So Batman got that right.
Right.
They start running from Green Arrow, and then he knocks one down. They start shooting at him, and he dodges the shooting, and then what does he do? Whack! He kills a dude straight up.
Yep. He kills him. This is crazy.
This is way pre-longbow hunters. This is way pre-longbow hunters in the 80s. Like Mike Grell. This is got to be the first time Green Arrow ever killed anybody in a comic book.
Yeah, and can I point something out too, which is really awesome? So he just killed this guy who is not smuggling drugs.
No, they're not smuggling drugs, but they were working for the. They shot at him though.
But at this moment in time, this fellow is still presumed innocent because it's not even drugs anyway, which makes this even better. So he just randomly killed the guy.
He's not a cop either, even though they did shoot at him. So one dead, but one got away, but got the stuff, a whole cartload of it. Yeah, cartload. Even though, of course, we find out it's not. It's sugar.
Oh my God!
And so
now hold on. Why?
Go ahead.
Now wait. Why is sugar at the post office? Like, so what they're trying to say is that Belknap
it's a red herring,
knows.
Right?
Yeah, he knows that Batman's going to be there, so he actually intentionally shipped sugar just to throw off Batman. But you're like, okay, so did he order a bunch of sugar and then have it shipped? Like, how did he even get the sugar?
I guess it's
so
a red herring, so I suppose so it has to be.
Right.
And he had these guys with guns there just to throw off Batman. It makes it's so wackadoodle.
Yeah, like
it makes no sense.
It's no sense at all. And someone died because of it. And Green Arrow, I love how Green Arrow was just like, well, that's one down. I killed one of them
over sugar.
Man. Sugar, and now we have to get back to the spider.
Because this fascination with this spider is really ridiculous, man. Wednesday. It's Wednesday now, 6 a.m. Dawn knows blah blah. So the spider. I like how the spider's sleeping, so he's upside down to tell you.
Yeah,
that
is that
sleeping.
how is that how it works?
Sleep on their back. Yes. Usually it's when they're dead, right?
He should have put.
So
He should have
maybe
put.
Alfred sprayed it.
Right. Oh no, he should have put a little pillow underneath it, or he should have made it like put it.
So Batman thinks to himself, so Belknap was running a test. He even sacrificed one of his goons to find out. Well, didn't really act. Never mind. Now he must. Right. Now he must guess I'm spinning a web for him. Get it? There's a web right there. But now we know the ship. But the shipment hasn't arrived yet. But it could come through the next channel. Wake up, Spidey. He calls him Spidey. There are more flies to catch. Wake up, Spidey. And then, my chest. Got to keep going. Maybe if you stop moving, a-hole. You're not supposed
you don't need to turn around to that spider.
The flawed premise is amazing. And anyway, and where another day has reached the zenith over the snow-capped peaks, there's Belknap, the greatest villain of all time.
Yep.
So some crazy archer was jamming the mail channel. Interesting. Almost sounds like Batman's involved. Why? It was an archer. What do you mean?
Yeah, like
we got rid of him.
I guess like Green Arrow doesn't have enough street cred with this guy. It's like, some random archer.
Yeah. Right. He doesn't know who Green Lantern is. I mean, Green Arrow is a member of the Justice League. Billy Go Boom. Hey there. So you're right. That's a good point. He doesn't know who Green Arrow.
Like, didn't someone report saying it was Green Arrow? And then he would be like, so at this point, if someone says Green Arrow attacked your shipment, he would think, Batman's been incapacitated, so he's called the Justice League. Maybe I better call this off. Nope.
It's so silly. And again with the spider. Spider got another flight. You snared another one, pal. Maybe he's gonna be the new sidekick. Maybe it'll be a Brave and Bold issue where he teams up with the spider.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Time to see if arachnid to him. It would, wouldn't it? The Bob Haney spider. Spider Haney. Bob the Spider. Mr. Arachnid to Emerald Gladiator. Yeah, the Guardians of Oa really like me becoming a fighting in the narcotics division.
Right. Yeah. Can I
half an hour later, point out something else? Batman said the next connection had. Yes.
No, I wanted to point out something else. Why is Batman using code names for superheroes that already have code names? Like, just call him Green Lantern. Like, is this a private channel? Like, why? Like, doesn't Batman have a private channel? Okay, let me call him the Emerald Gladiator. Well, what's the difference? Like, just call him Green Lantern. You're not saying Hal Jordan. Like, why does he needs like a code
nickname for him? Right.
Like there's two. It's like, he's like, I'm gonna call him Bird Boy. Like, okay, but just call him Robin. Like, he's already got and this isn't an open channel. Like, it's a closed channel. There's no one else on it but these three, and you already have code names. So why do you need extra code names? It's so odd.
It is weird. That's Bob for you. That's our boy Bob. Okay, so hey Pat S, what's up, buddy?
Hey Pat.
Anyway, so yeah, he shows up at the docks, and there's this is so ridiculous. They're unloading a Volkswagen, one car, right?
Right, for the biggest drug shipment of all time.
Right, and on that, yes, the biggest all time. On that piece of paper that Batman got from the dead guy, I guess they told him it was going to be in a Volkswagen. Well, Belknap's a genius at making superheroes look stupid. So Green Lantern shows up there from under the water for some reason.
When Green Lantern was in the sky, nobody noticed him. Nobody noticed a glowing green thing. It's like, okay.
No. So he comes on and he lands there. And I like how, he's obviously you can't shoot Green Lantern. At least he has a shield. He takes the car out of the water. Then he dismantles it with a Green Lantern ring. Nothing. A big shipment would have occupied every nook and cranny. It's fake. No shit.
Right.
It's fake. Wednesday. So here we go. So Belknap was testing again. What Belknap something? I think he's like a spider himself.
Right.
He's a cunning hyena. Now he's got to be suspicious. You're not listening, Spidey. He called him Spidey again. Sleep again, but your web's catching flies, not mine. Your web's catching flies, not mine. Give him a Spidey, man. Spidey's like, leave me alone. I'm trying to catch flies here. So,
back to Belknap here with his,
Here's Belknap, your buddy. Right. It's puzzling. Another channel blocked by another costume clown. Batman's Little Helpers. Could be. We'll try. Batman's Little Helpers could be. We'll try channel 3 and safe. I don't understand what. I don't get anything right now.
I don't understand what's happening. Like, if he knows that Batman or someone is onto him and he's faking these things, like, when is he actually going to bring the shipment? Well, we'll see later, but like, when is he actually going to bring the quote unquote, I want everyone to remember this, the largest shipment of drugs ever? Because wait till you see how it comes in, but ever. But I mean, how does he he knows ahead of time that Batman? So, I don't know if they're trying to say that the guy who died and gave Batman this list, like, gave it to him
told him about it. He knew about it.
Yeah,
it was a red herring.
It's not
yes,
very
clearly.
Yeah,
they don't make the clear, but it meant the guy gave it to him, and the guy knows. The guy knows that Batman knows. So how does he know?
Right. So why even have? Yeah, like, why even fake it though? Like, if he knows, like, if Green Arrow shows up at the post office or at the pier, just have nothing. Like, why have a fake car? Like, just don't do anything. And then they show up, they're like, hey, where's the drugs? They're not here. Oh shit, they're not here. Like, why even have sugar? Like, why put sugar there? Like, what would be the point?
It's so ridiculous. Hey, Wolfie, good to see you. I love it, man. I love it. So, anyways, talking to Robin, Bird Boy, Emerald. Emergency, I can't raise black kid. Oh, God. Here we go. All right.
Oh, God. This is really brutal.
In some of the things, you know how people like to, in historical context, people talk about how sexist some of this is. And look, I'm no SJW, but some of it kind of is a little bit. Bob Haney was that kind of guy. So
this is brutal.
Yes.
And I'm for sure 100% not an SJW. This doesn't bother me, and really it's just silly, but it is so weird that it doesn't even make sense on several levels, which we'll get to when we get to it, because even within its own context, it doesn't make sense. But anyway.
Well, earlier on, Robin even made a crack out. I don't know what you brought the chick for, pretty much.
Right.
Talking about Black Canary. And Batman said he had his reasons. So Robin already started out like a little bit, I don't know, misogynistic. I hate to use that word, Joe.
Right.
So here he goes. She can't get it. She's lost contact with Black Canary. Batman has. So he's out looking for him. He said, I warned Batman she'd be a problem, Mike, because she's a chick. Well, kind of. Well, he finds her. Those legs. Woo. He finds her. Come on. A man with a bullet in his chest is counting on you. The rain ruined my hair. I had to dry it out. And the dryer jammed Batman's cowl. So basically, she had to
dry her hair. Like,
had to go to the beauty parlor.
Yeah, and then the other thing is,
wet.
And doesn't she wear a wig? Like, doesn't she have multiple wigs? Like, this isn't even her hair.
Yes, that's a wig she's wearing. But Bob, and here's the thing, and one Michael Urey, who wrote the great book, The Team Up Companion for TwoMorrows, that I've been enjoying, he talked about how, and he was talking about all about it was a lot of the history of Bob Haney. He says, Bob, and this is confirmed, he didn't know that she's really a brunette under that's a wig. He didn't know that Black Canary wears a wig because he just doesn't know these things, and his editor didn't tell him. So, yes, for those who know, everyone knows that Diana Lance is really has black hair, but wears a blonde wig as Black Canary. So her hair getting wet, it's a wig. But again, I guess Jim Aparo may not have done it either. Murray Boltinoff, whoever's edited it. So, yeah. Anyway.
Like, grab another wig. Like, if you're that concerned over it, like, you must have other wigs.
Oh, and then we have some fun ads here again. Look at those patches. Jesus Christ Superstar. Woo. Ads. And then here. So, shortly as the sky is clear, I told him I could handle this. No, Robin, Bob. And she says, this is one place even boy chauvinists can't go.
Yeah.
Today, Women's Lib Lecture. Monique Delatar, author of Why Men? No men allowed. Well, that's right. That's misandrous.
Yep. Well, she breaks that rule, though, as we see, she broke her own rule. We'll see that shortly. Now, hold on a second.
Yes.
Everybody remember, This is the biggest drug shipment
in the universe ever
in all of the infinite universes. This is the
number
biggest
one
ever.
Right. That's
Okay,
what
keep
that's
that in
exactly.
mind.
This is good that you pointed it out. So
Right.
in goes Canary, and she's hearing the I like how she's thinking about what she's saying.
Yes.
Her logic's a bit rough, but her ideas aren't bad. Well, thank you, Bob. That's very enlightened of Bob, isn't it?
That's nice.
So let's see here. Yeah. Then, as the lecture concludes, one moment, ladies, I will give out these copies of my book. Think I'll get one. Someone Canary thinks. So sorry, Cherie. There are no more. But what about those 2 cartons back there, which clearly must contain the biggest drug shipment in the entire universe?
Right.
They're special copies. So copies. What the hell? That's British.
She's French, right?
Lady
Monique
talks like that.
Yeah, copies.
Copies. Yes, Monique. Yeah. I don't believe you, Cherie. One side. Oh, Bob. Stop her. So she's part of it. I guess she works. Why is she working for the dude?
Right. And so this feminist. Yeah. So this feminist is like selling drugs.
Right.
Yeah. That's great.
So you 2 charmers want to interfere with my reading habits. Yes. And these, of course, 2 lunkheads are 2 drag.
So why do they need to be dressed up? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like there's okay. So there's no women allowed, but surely Monique must have bodyguards or something. Like, why can't they just say they're her bodyguards or whatever? Like, what is the point?
Maybe they're transvestites. They're transvestites. Yeah.
Right.
So Bob, they're in drag. How about that?
Right. So Bob remembered that these guys were wearing wigs, but he didn't know that Black Canary wears a wig. He got the wigs right on these guys.
Right. Exactly. Hey, I thought it said no men allowed. She said as she's kicking. She said femlib. What is femlib? Or not? Guns are always unladylike. Says Black Canary. Good for you. And then she finds out after she kicks their asses, she opens up and it is just books in there. So bum bum bum. No drugs again. Or as they call it later, they keep saying dope. No dope. There's no dope in there. So Maddie's daddy, what's up, buddy? So now it's Thursday. It's Thursday. And it's starting 5 p.m. Half dead, despairing man gazes out at the city he loves. Well, he wouldn't be half dead if they never mind. So we blew it. Each of the 3 connections channels proved to be dry runs. Belknap's outwitted us. But doesn't he have to bring it in somehow? But now we haven't the slightest, because you trusted that one. You expended all that energy, Bat Spider, on that piece of paper you got from a dying dead guy that worked for the bad guy.
Right.
You're Batman, the world's greatest detective.
This doesn't fit his spider theory, because the spider has webs everywhere. So you shouldn't trust just one source. You should have more webs shooting out in different directions, right? So even his analogy of spider doesn't work here.
Every time Bob Haney writes Batman, Batman is a chucklehead, a chump. He always screws up. He's always dumb. And tomorrow, chum, my time's up. I go under the knife. I failed. No, don't think that. You risked everything. Your life. Batman just collapses. And so here's what I love this next panel. And 3,000 miles away, I'm positive now, even though half dead, Batman still fights me. Somehow he knew about each connection channel. Wait a minute. I mean, somehow. See? I don't get it. I'm confused.
Yeah, so see that guy, he didn't
we must get that shipment into Gotham City.
Yeah, and can I point this out?
So he didn't set him up, but I thought he did.
No, he didn't set him up. No, and this is very important. 3,000 miles away. And it's so remember, he's going under the knife tomorrow. It's 3,000 miles away. And 3, the doctor was 3 days away. Just keep all those things in your head.
3 days. Right.
3 days, 3,000 miles. The doctor is so
so the doctor that number.
Right. So the doctor should be in a plane right now. Right. Like the doctor should be in a plane right now. Right.
Why did he leave 3 days ago? You're right. He's still over there. You're exactly. We'll get to that in a second. Keely Chow, hey, good to see you. Roll Tide and Max Redstone, hey. So you're right. Remember, we're about to find out that Dr. Hellstrom, it says it's in the paper. It says Batman rated on tomorrow by the famous Dr. Hellstrom of this country.
Right.
So this is this is almost 3 days, and the doctor who hasn't left yet.
Right. Right. The doctor hasn't left yet. He's supposed to be on the plane.
Why is he? They said it would take 3 days, and he hasn't even left yet. Why? Again, even if you just leave back what we were talking about at the beginning, where they have, the Justice League as teleporters, they have the fastest man alive, they have Green Lantern, they have Superman, and they have a doctor. They said it would take him 3 days for some reason. By the way, I know it was 1970, like early 1970s, like 1 or 2, but would it take an airplane 3 days to fly from Zurich to New York? I don't think so.
I'm not sure, but he should
say no.
Yeah, and he should really already be on his way, like really. But anyways, okay.
But why would it take 3 days? If you think, but even there's another thing. They're telling us at the beginning of this story that from Zurich, where that doctor is, to Gotham City, basically New York, it would take 3 days.
Right.
No, that's not how planes worked. Even in 1972, I guarantee you, it did not take. It was like probably an 8, 9 hour, 12-hour flight or whatever.
Sure.
Probably.
It may have been 2 days.
Say 5 hours, maybe.
Yeah,
and,
maybe.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Maybe it would have been 2 days.
3 days. Yeah. Why?
Like.
So anyway, they're at the Zurich airport. Careful, that machine is necessary for my operation in America tomorrow that I could have left 3 days ago. Thank you, Dr. Hellstrom. Of course, Dr. Hellstrom. So anyway, Friday. Wait a minute. He got there. Look how long it took him to get there.
Right.
Friday, Dr. Hellstrom's there. Right. Actually, he's not. He's not, but we're not going to spoil anything yet.
We're not going to spoil it, but yeah, he's there. He teleported.
The point is, they're telling us that it takes less than a day.
Right.
Because that guy's someone pretending to be Dr. Hellstrom shows up. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay. All right. They're bringing Batman under the knife. Okay. And they're all at the Bat guy goes under the knife any minute with the stuff. Wait, so is he there? Is he there? Yes, he's there. That guy's okay. They're at the hospital. The guy claiming to be Dr. Hellstrom claimed to have left Thursday. This is one of those questions like, if a train leaves New York going sometime an hour and another train leaves, So wait a minute. You at the beginning of the comic, you said it would take him 3 days for some reason. Anyway.
Right. So, and then he leaves in an
Bob,
evening.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
the guy pretending to be him leaves in an evening, but he still left in the same place.
Right. Now look at the machine.
Layovers.
Firstly, Batman has his mask on during the operation, which is great. But
Batman's still wearing the same clothes when he got shot.
Right. and we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're waiting for the largest drug shipment of all time. Okay, we're still waiting for that. So it's coming.
All time.
All time. All right.
So now under the blazing lights where human skill and nerve battle death, the Caped Crusader begins what may be his last adventure. Dr. Hellstrom, not to be confused with, it is a great honor to assist you. A greater honor for me to try to save this great man's life, but we know who he really is. Anyway,
right.
His body functions will be monitored, blah, blah, blah. Patient under first stage anesthesia, blah, 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 blah. Good. You, doctor, will begin. I shall take over the critical part. And so Batman starts having this dream under the anesthesia. And he dreams that he's in a DC Comics ad right here for subscription. And then his dream continues. And then he reaches up and he knows that this is a bad guy. The anesthesia has made him berserk. Help me. Get him back down. Anyway, get him more anesthetic. He's got superhuman strength. Why? As Batman feels himself being overwhelmed, he touches a tiny button on his wristwatch. Whoops. Hang on. And it calls Robin. Robin, you flipped. You can't go in there. Batman's alarm signal. It's never been wrong yet.
Right.
Robin, Hellstrom's a phony. He's really Belknap.
Oh my god.
So this is supposed to be the smartest villain ever. Why is he there?
Yeah, why would he go
Stay
there?
out.
I don't get it.
I don't understand why Belknap is pretending to be what's his name. Oh, sorry, sir. That explains it. No. Let's see. Why is it? Oh, he isn't Dr. Hellstrom. Belknap, get him. One step and this scalpel will finish him. Sudden rush, but of course, Green Arrow shoots the scalpel out of his hand. Nice shot, GA. I got this rat. Batman, is he alive? Barely. The only real Dr. Hellstrom, only the real Dr. Hellstrom could save him. What's happened to him? Call Switzerland, Doc, pronto. And finally, the Swiss police found Belknap's goons holding Hellstrom in his own house.
Right.
But it'll take him 6 jet hours. Wait a minute.
So you're right.
I thought it was 3 days.
You said it was 3 days. And then
you said it was 3 days.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 3 days. And then here, I love this. This is this picture right underneath is the best. So Green Lantern does what he should have done on page 2.
I can't stand it. Well, and he says, where are they? The DC office going, but Bob, why couldn't Green Lantern just do this to begin with? Why, Bob? Why? Not to hell with it. It's a comic book. Just make it. First of all, so it would take 6 hours for the Doctor to get there. But hell, we got Green Lantern. By the way, we talked about at the beginning of the story. We have Superman, we have the Flash, we have teleporters of the Justice League. Oh my God!
Right?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God!
Comic book.
Like, it's like, why didn't this happen on page 2? So let me rewrite the story for you. Batman gets shot. Green Lantern brings over the Doctor, and it's over. And then Batman catches Belknap or whatever. Like, and like, so if he's in Switzerland and Belknap is in Switzerland, why is it's like the biggest? So if he's got all these connections in the States or in Gotham, why would he go himself to try to kill Batman? It's so weird. I've never seen the drug lord leader like go get so active. Usually these drug lords do not get involved in their petty crimes because they know that if they get caught, they're screwed. Like, it's so weird. I love that, like, Green Lantern comes in on page 4 or something, and it's like, why didn't he immediately go get the Doctor? Like, even if you couldn't use Superman.
Again, look at this. Here's this page again, dude. But Dr. Hellstrom couldn't be here by plane until Friday. It's Tuesday. That's 3 days. Yeah, but this is page 3. They say that. It's said on page 3. Now we go back. I'm going back to here we are, folks. Oh my God, this is the greatest. Oh my God, you see why we picked this one? Holy!
Oh my God!
All right,
this one might be weirder,
but it'll take him 6 jet hours.
Right.
It might be weirder. They are weird, dude. I got news for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because the other one is so wacky that it's just like it lost all sense. Like the first one we did lost all sense of realism, but this one maintains some realism. And then it's like, so this last page is bonkers. It's like, okay, I'll just go get him right now. Okay, why didn't you go get him right now? Even if you could, let's say Superman. I don't know what was going on in Action Comics during this issue, but let's say Superman was off-world or something, and he was, they couldn't get him, or they couldn't get Supergirl or something. So that's fine. You get Green Lantern, but if Green Lantern could have done this, why didn't Green Lantern just go get the Doctor immediately? Like, it's just so weird.
I don't understand. And not only that, like you said, it's 6 jet hours. So just write the story where he has less than 6 hours to live. But you write it so he has 3 days. Then you say it'll take 3 days for no reason other than to facilitate your stupid story. And no editor stops and goes, and his editor, and I think it's still Murray Boltinoff at this time, doesn't go, Bob, see where this is kind of, just do it, whatever. They're kids. They don't care. They're 12 years old. They'll read anything.
Yeah, but no, I mean, all you have to do is change the beginning to say he's got 6 hours, because the rest of the comic could have taken place within 6 hours. Like if he sends,
Yes.
like if he sends Black Canary and Green Lantern and Robin at the same time, he's like, okay, guys, you go here, you go here, you go here, and that all happens within a couple of hours, right? And then you could say he's got multiple shipments coming in. It's the same story. Right. And all you do is you don't even have to redo the art. All you have to redo is the text in the beginning saying he's got 6 hours to live, or he's got 5 hours to live, but it takes 6 hours to get here. That's it. And then Green Lantern goes in and gets him at the very end. It's so weird. I love this doctor too. It's like he's, but hold on a second. But Clobby, where's
that's got to be a crazy ride. That right here.
Yeah, that's great.
That's got to be a crazy ride right there, huh? Whoa, man. You sure
but
this
Clobby,
is safe? Yes.
Where was the drugs? I don't know where were the drugs.
All right, here we go.
I don't know.
Oh, so if you're reading this story, the shipment was in the doctor's equipment. This right here, folks, is this drugs shipment of dope, heroin in all of history at that point. The biggest. Look at it. It's like 3 little pieces of. What is that?
Right.
That's
and how does the machine work?
Shipment. They kept saying dope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How does the machine work? It's got dope in it.
So his whole master plan. His master plan was to get that through customs, because since it was for Dr. What's-His-Face, who was going to be operating on Batman, they wouldn't check it.
Well,
but
hold on.
Look how much it is.
Okay, so hold on. Look, I gotta tell you, customs was a fail in this issue, because they let the incorrect man through the border.
Yes.
Like, they didn't check this guy's ID. They didn't check his equipment. They didn't scan anything. Like, it's like, I mean, it sounds like I'm in Canada. I know you're in the States, so I don't know. I don't think the Gotham City border patrol is very good. It's like they just let anybody through.
And again, look how much of it is there too. It's like a couple of little packets. It's like what is that, like enough for like a Hollywood party for about 5 minutes? I mean, what?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what the hell?
Oh my god!
Okay, guys, sure. And Batman, I don't think it was that big of a deal, dude. It was like 5 packs of crap that you risked your damn life for. Saturday, the operation is a success. Batman will live. Hurrah! So here we go.
Oh god!
Belknap's scheme was ingenious. Was it really though? Was it? He has Hellstrom. Here's the sum up. Here's the Scooby-Doo sum up. As Hellstrom, he'd have the satisfaction of killing you personally, claiming the operation had failed. Of course, he'd gotten away with it because you're all stupid, enough of those darn kids. Aware that only the assisting surgeon might know what he looked like. He made sure he wore his surgical mask before entering the operating area. Batman, for the love of God, will you change your shirt? Been wearing it for a week, dude.
Oh my god! And didn't anyone check?
His machine would be passed through customs.
Like,
no,
like I mean, if you're going to operate on Batman, wouldn't Commissioner Gordon
filled
check?
With junk?
Oh gosh,
no,
it's just
I guess not.
It's
look at this though. It says what Green Arrow says. Check. Then he'd leave with a machine filled with junk to make his connection worth millions. But how do you? Here's my life. How did you really guess? Guess who he really was? Bat Guy. He always calls him Bat Guy for me because he's not Batman. Clearly,
right.
When I grabbed his wrist, I partly exposed his arm. It bore needle marks. I remember Belknap himself was an addict.
Yeah,
so that's how he sussed him out.
But maybe it could have been.
So
maybe the doctor was an addict.
Prison by his own junk. Beautiful.
Yeah, maybe the doctor was an addict. Like, who knows?
Yeah, he probably was. Maybe he was.
He's got a lot of pressure, right?
But here's the tie-in to everything, though. Here's this last balloon where Batman says, "I try harder, but then I couldn't have done it without all of you and a certain small 8-legged friend of mine." The Spider's like, "Why am I at this hospital? Geez, God, why'd you bring me to the hospital? I don't understand. Can I go home now?"
And
Why am I at the hospital?
And Batman's being nice because they all failed. It was all none of them did anything. Those three idiots went after false leads that Batman sent them on.
That was so.
So
Oh
they
my
didn't do
God!
anything. They didn't do anything. They just
So, dude.
Well, the real
this might
tragedy
be
is
wackier
that
than the other one.
no, the tragedy is that Black Canary's hair got wet for nothing. That's the real takeaway from this.
Well, yes, that's unheard of. That's uncalled for. And of course,
Oh,
the rest of
God.
that issue has some nice art in it, some Neil Adams art and some stuff like that for some backup stories.
Yeah, that was
Anyway.
good. That Dead Man, I ended up reading that Dead Man story. It was pretty
cool.
good. Yeah.
Cool.
I think I've
what have
laughed
we
the
learned
most
from
on
this,
this
ladies
one.
and gentlemen? Did you really? I don't blame
I think
you.
this one was my most, yeah.
I don't know if we can top it. We're gonna try, but I don't know how we top this one. That will not
It's
be
just
easy.
because it's like it seems normal if you don't analyze, if you don't think about, like, I guess, if you're a 10-year-old kid, you're just like, okay, that was cool, Batman, won. But it's like, but it doesn't make any sense, like, ever. Like, even because people always say, I hate this comparison when they talk about Adam West because I love the Adam West show, but
right.
they always say, well, the Adam West show is cheesy. Right. But it makes sense within the cheesiness of itself. Like, it's like Batman is smart. He solves things in crazy, weird ways, but it's like, yeah, but he is smart because he solves things. This is so weird. It's like Batman makes mistakes. He does wrong things. It's like they don't think of things like Batman should have thought of Green Lantern to go get the doctor. Like, it's just so weird. It's like Bob Haney himself just didn't even bother. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's like there's drugs and there's like heroes. What else do you want? Like, and I guess you're like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I got Batman, in a wheelchair. I guess I don't know if that would. I'd love to see this adapted. Maybe Batman 2, they could have him in a wheelchair directing other people to do stuff.
Hey there, Brandon Looney Tune fans.
Warrior in a wheelchair.
Warrior in the wheelchair. So, folks, let me check our poll. Let's see what we got going on with the poll here. Let me refresh that. And
mine shows Brave and the Bold as 37.
We have wackier than the other two. Well, I had to refresh it real quick. And can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It takes me a second. Okay. There we go. Haney written the stories accompanied by the yakety sax. Okay, here we go. Come on now. It takes a second for this thing to refresh here. I want to get it right. But this is, you're right. I mean, this might be almost as wackadoodle as the Sergeant Rock story, if not more so. It's tough to tell.
Oh, yeah.
This is not an isolated incident, I can tell you that.
No, I think the Sergeant Rock one is more obviously weird. Yeah. The Sergeant Rock one is more obviously weird because it's guys coming out of the comic into the real world. But this one is weird in a sense of like, it's like it shows like a complete lack of caring for like the page beforehand. Like, you just said it was 3 days. Oh, now it's one evening. Now Green Lantern can do it in 5 minutes. So like, it's just like, okay. And then you would think like, maybe I should just change the story. And you could easily fix it by just saying, okay, let's just say the story takes place over 6 hours. That's it. But it doesn't, even that would still make it wacky. But I mean, at least it'd be some kind of, and I know kids aren't going to follow the timeline. Nobody's really going to follow this and be like, well, he said 3 days earlier. Like, but you stressed it. Like, you're like, you stressed it so much. Like, okay, we've got, this doctor's just not going to make it in time. I don't want to die without busting this guy.
It's a major plot point.
It's a major plot point. It's the whole issue.
It's a damn story. It's absolutely, it's insane. I mean, okay, let's see here. All right, my question was to everybody. Yeah, we got 38 votes. I'll close the poll. All right, the question was, just for future reference, I'll probably forget it. I didn't write it down probably. By the way, thank you, Pat S, for member chat. 4 months to let the Clobberonic level. Appreciate you, buddy. He said, I really dig J-Man. I'm tweeting him out all the week. Well, thank you, buddy, because I did too.
Thank you so much.
Man, it is so much fun hanging with you, bro, and I appreciate you being here tonight. So the question was, from which Bob Haney title would you like us to choose our next visit to Earth be? And the winner is Brave and the Bold with 36%. Number 2, Teen Titans at 28%. Number 3, 18%. That'd be World's Finest, and 15% for Aquaman at number 4. World's Finest, dude. Are you? That has a lot of his Super Sons.
Yes.
Stuff.
Oh, yes. Where they look exactly the same, right? They look like it's basically like Superman, but just young.
It used to get him in trouble with some of the editors of the Superman, Batman books, like Julius Schwartz and stuff, because he'd be like, "What are you? You're saying this is some kind of other Earth, right?" I guess no, just it happened. He didn't care about that stuff. Chris Persia says Eric K gifted 5 channel members. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for that, Chris. Because as you know, I can't see that over here. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Well, dude, this has just been too much fun. I love it, man.
I can't. Yeah, I've been laughing.
Oh, it's hilarious, especially when you talk about it with somebody who's read it as well, and you go through all the bits and the plot points and all that kind of stuff, and you just realize how just insane this was. And again, Murray Boltinoff was the editor. This was 1972 comic book. What is an editor for? I mean,
right?
Aren't they there? I mean, I know, again, the Marvel, DC had their various methods, but Bob Haney was not a guy who drew his own stuff. So he would turn in actual scripts and work with the editor, and they would get Jim, and they get it to Jim Aparo. So, whereas there were other methods to the Marvel method and other types of things, but that's how it went with creating DC and the guys who were career writers. So, if you're Jim Aparo and you get this thing, you got to be going, huh? Well, what the hell? It's a job. Who cares? I guess. But Murray Boltinoff's the editor. At no time does, and again, they let him do what they want because he just did whatever he wanted to do. And they were just like, he goes, yeah, go with it. It's fine. That's why when they say Earth B, they say Bob, but Murray Boltinoff was kind of let him do all kind of stuff. And he wasn't the only one that ever, edited Haney, but I don't know, man. I mean, Bob Haney is on record as saying in interviews saying it's just kids junk, and he was trying to sound conceited. Just says, well, adults have their junk, kids have their junk, so he didn't even respect it.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just the thinking of a person at that time, and he's just like, look, yeah, it's kids stuff. Who cares? They're gonna read it, throw it away anyways. Like, I don't think there was a lot of thought of like, this is going to be like have such a cultural impact and this is going to mean something later on. Even like old shows, like I love Star Trek, original series. They're just like, this will be a show. It'll be on. And like Doctor Who, like we lost episodes. Like they literally erased episodes. You're like, this is crazy. Like nobody thought any of this stuff was going to matter to people later on. It was very disposable. 25 cents, read it for an hour and then throw it in the garbage or whatever. Right. Like,
yep. That's basically what it was, man.
Like I didn't keep TV guides, and now I see people like you go on eBay and there's people selling old TV guides, and I'm like, well, I used to get TV guide, I just threw it in the garbage. Like as soon as you get next week,
has tons of them from the 70s into the 80s into the 90s. Still has them.
Yeah, and it's like who knew what was gonna stick with people? And now going back, and people like always will cite a comic like this, and be like, oh, this was cheesy. See, Batman was cheesy and stupid. Ha! Now it's much better. It's like, well, you know what, like. There's a time for things, and it kept Batman going, and it's still some sort of fun factor to it. I don't think it's like despicable or anything. It's just like, look, it's fun. He didn't care much. He thought it was kind of junky, but it's fun. Like, sometimes you buy a 1 cent bubble gum, and you're like, this was that 1 cent bubble gum only lasts half an hour, but it was okay. I don't think it's that bad.
Oh yeah. Well, Fanti says, as wacky as Haney's storytelling is, was he himself a wacko in real life? Kinda. May explain. Yeah, I just like I keep talking about that book. I'm always hyping the Team Up Companion by TwoMorrows, which is a great book. I recommend it. It just came out by the great Michael Urey, and he has a pretty big since Brave and Bold is the comic that started the Team Up comic. And so that was Bob Haney. So he gives him a lot of the credit for the guy starting that. And so he has a nice write-up about Haney and about his life and stuff. And he had a very interesting life. Again, like a lot of people back then, he grew up in the Depression, ended up serving on a Navy ship during World War II. He was a war hero. And the guy was an adventurer. He was also the uncle by marriage of Chevy Chase, the actor, comedian.
Yeah.
And he was into all kind of, he was loved to be like building houses. He was all kind of rugged individuals type stuff. He liked to go to skiing and skiing in other countries and doing he did all kind of manly stuff. I know maybe he was the Hemingway of comics. Right. I don't know. He was, in a sense, I don't know, because he was a big he was a man's man type, and his comics reflect that. He writes them as, they're all brutal and they're ridiculous, but they're also, macho stuff, a lot of things like that in it, and which is cool. And
and it's still fun. Like, I would rather take a comic that's kind of fun. It's maybe a bit silly, but you get some enjoyment out of it. I think the enjoyment of comics is gone. That's what's happened. I mean, I like serious stuff. Obviously, Alan Moore's a favorite of both of ours. Obviously, Watchmen's a favorite of both of ours. But it doesn't always have to be Watchmen. Like, you're not all you don't have to always write as though this is the most important manuscript I've ever written. Like, sometimes I just want to see Batman beat up a few guys. Like, I don't need it to be like a mystery that unfolds over several issues. It's like sometimes it could just be a fun comic to read, and you read it, you're like, that was a lot of fun. You might read it again, or you store it in your little box and you come back to it a couple of years later, read it again, be like, oh, that was a fun kind of an issue. So Chris is saying, what's wrong with 1 cent bubblegum? I love those 1 cent bubblegums.
Oh God,
Bazooka Joe, yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, Bwana Beast was crazy, man.
Bwana Beast
absolutely.
Is cool, yeah.
I love Bwana Beast.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. And they're just for fun. And like I said, in reading up on a lot of Bob Haney, one of the things that he ultimately, got by with when continuity didn't mean so much at that point is his comics sold. So no one really was ever able to tell him anything. Some of his comics were always really big sellers, so yeah, right. But there were people like, hey man, what are you doing? Why does Batman in World's Finest, why are you giving Batman and Robin a couple of kids? And Batman and Superman a couple of kids. And why? They look, they're like they're in college.
Yeah, like what? Like, where are these kids?
They show their mothers. They show their mothers, but they don't show the faces. But we know it's Lois and Selena.
Right.
We're pretty sure anyway.
Right. Yeah, that is so odd. Like,
it's weird.
And like, what is the point of it anyways? Like, they have kids, but just write the same story without the kids. Like, why do the kids? This is a misconception that a lot of adults have. They're like, well, kids will like it if there's kids. It's like, not necessarily. Like, I never, I liked Robin, of course, but I mean, it's not like if the comic was all kids that somehow made it better. It's just like, I didn't care. Like, if Batman was fighting guys, that's cool. I liked Green Arrow. Right. I like Superman. It doesn't mean it's going to be better. Like, why is there a Batman and then a mini Batman? It's just like so weird.
That's why Teen Titans, the older teen series that he didn't sell like Justice League or any of the other kind of superhero type comics. It did okay. It didn't really do that great. But, and then of course, when New Teen Titans was Perez and Wolfman, it didn't sell because they were kids. It was called it was sold because it was Perez and Wolfman. It was, it was Perez comic.
Right.
Really,
I've got that one. I've got number one of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but usually, kids want to see, they don't mind a sidekick. They like a sidekick, fine, if he's okay. I love Robin, and Bucky, but I watch for Batman and Superman. When you're a kid, you still want to see the grown-up superheroes. So,
yeah, like, it's supposed to be something to aspire to. Like, you're like, one day I can be Batman and Superman, and then they hope that you don't jump off the side of your building before you're old enough to realize that won't work. So it's like, that's really what comics are. It's like, as a kid, you're like, I want to be Batman and all that. And then you grow up, you're like, well, I can't be Batman, but I can follow his morals and I can be a good man and be a smart person and try to do good by my friends and family. And that's sort of where comics were important. Not so much that I'm going to actually be Batman, right?
Sure. Absolutely. It's just, oh yeah, buddy. Well, it'll be the next one. Will be a Batman. Will be a Brave and Bold issue. We want to try another one next month.
Yep. Oh, 100%. Yep.
Whenever you're ready, you let me know. You let me you figure out the time. What is a good date, and we'll do it. And it will be. It's tough to choose from. Really, I got to read a few. I'll vet it by reading 3 or 4. And if you read one that you think is wacky, you want to suggest me to take a look at, I will. And we'll get together. I read this one a while back, and then went back and just read it again today. And I thought, man, this is pretty crazy. This would be one. It's tough to choose because when you read one that's just kind of dumb but not really nutty.
Right.
Wow, that's almost disappointing. I want a nutty one now. But believe me, there's no shortage of the nutty. By the way, you notice how this cover has nothing to do with the inside.
Right. Like, who is this guy stabbing him? Like, what is going? I guess that's supposed to be the doctor, but he wasn't in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. It's called Warrior in the Wheelchair. The comic is, so they had to put him in the wheelchair on the cover, even though that scene doesn't happen. But that's common with comics. So
yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
I want to thank you all for being here with me tonight, everybody. I'm going to be back on in about an hour and a half, so I need to go stretch and do some stuff before I come back. But I want to thank the great J-Man, dude. What fun this has been, man! I love it. Like I said, we had fun. Everyone, like I said, the first one we did was just Brave and Bold 124, which is wackadoodle as well. And then the Christmas fun we had with a Bob Haney Xmas there with Plastic Man, fun stuff. And now this one, great stuff. So we'll do as many as we can, folks, and we'll do one. And hopefully the next few weeks we'll have.
Eric's got a super chat in there. Eric just did a super chat.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you want to catch that.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, J-Man, what are you talking about? Clobby still wants to be Batman. He runs around the neighborhood in his underoos and a cape. Again, I thought we were trying to keep a lid on that, but no, just throw it out there, Eric. Just hey, portray confidence once again. Maybe embarrass me. I see how you are. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, Eric. Thank you, and thank you all for being here with us. I'll be back in a little while. But again, big thanks to the great J-Man. Please put your link in there.
Yeah, I've been kind of putting it as we go here.
Oh, good. But please subscribe to J-Man's channel. He's got a great channel, and yes, you let the cat out of the bag, Eric. So please go ahead and subscribe to him. What you got? Tell everybody what you got going on this week.
So we're doing we Tuesday nights we do a wrestling show about the women's division. So that's not really exactly the kind of thing that a lot of people here go for, but and then we're doing so Friday nights we're doing Versus, which is we take two movies and we put them against each other. This week we're doing next week we're doing Punisher versus Punisher Warzone. So we're gonna go against those two and see which one comes up. And Sean and I are doing Thursday night. So all of this happens before your stream because Sean and I go to your stream. But this Thursday, we're doing Return to Oz. We're going to talk about Return to Oz.
I remember that one.
I love that movie. I saw it in the theater. It's kind of nightmare fuel.
Yes.
So we're going to, so we're doing that every Thursday night. We're going to do another movie, it's usually some sort of sword and sorcery or fantasy. We were going to do Fire and Ice, and then Nick beat me to it. I literally had it set up. I was just about to post it. Nick's like, we're doing Fire and Ice this week. I'm like, really? I'm like, I was just posting that.
You could have still done it. I mean,
I'll give it a couple weeks and then we'll do it because you guys covered it. They covered it pretty good on Nick's channel.
They did.
But I will get to that because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I will get.
It sucks, right?
What?
Sorry.
Oh my God. But Return to Oz is this Thursday, so that'll be a lot of fun. And we always finish before your channel because we don't cross the streams like in Ghostbusters. I always say we don't cross.
Same here, dude.
Awesome. So yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, buddy, for being here. Thank you all, everyone, for hanging with me. And again, I will be back shortly, about an hour and a half. Got to go handle some stuff, and I'll just I guess I'll just sign off with a little sound bite, and then we'll get out of here for now. All right. Thank you, everybody, and I hope to see you here hanging out with me soon.
I just love clobbering time.